Good morning and welcome to Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. So excited to be here today. Hi, Lori. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Tammy, greetings to all. Remember, we go around the world, so it's good morning to us, but then it's just sometime any other part of the world, especially
Yeah,
from
good evening, good afternoon, or it could be the next day, right?
greetings, greetings. Yes, we are happy to see you. We're happy to be here in Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. We love for you to discover, experience, and transform in nature and with art. So Tammy, what do you have to announce and as reminders today?
And so, as a reminder, I want to remind everybody, and we've been posting about it, is we have a North Idaho Connections adventure coming up. It's a retreat that will, most of it will be held here at my place, but we're going boating, we're going hiking, but we're here in it's so you and I so can teach some different tools for people to take home to learn how to cope with stress, anxiety, those different things. It's like a therapy class in a sense.
It's basically to remind the participants how to self-care and how to pour love on themselves. Tammy, it's so interesting that in our 600 plus Facebook group, we have a lot of people that are heart-centered people that give from their heart to everybody around them, hold the fort and keep it together for other people. But then for them, they neglect themselves and they say they put themselves last. And what we want to bring to this retreat or this gathering and this time together in your beautiful homestead is to remind people that it's okay to put themselves first at some point. Because how can we give from an empty vessel? How can we impart from empty pockets or an empty shelves, right? Empty shelves. So what we want is for you to know and understand that it's okay to pause and stop and smell the roses, especially when it's at Tammy's place, beautiful homestead with beautiful, amazing, delicious farm or garden to table meals. I mean, we have a lot in store for you. So please go to our website, enroll yourself. All you have to do is get there, pay the fee to be able to come in and join us and have a great time with us.
Yeah, and this is July 17th, 18th, and 19th, or August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Oh, it looks like I have a typo on the page, so I'm gonna have to fix. So, but a lot of times, and it's like what Yuli just said. Hi, Yuli. It's so nice to see you. As a lot of people don't realize how to receive, how to regulate themselves, what's there. It's kind of like the quote I shared yesterday um, that Courtney had shared about. I can't even remember the post, but finding our own identities because so many times you hear all this word about being authentic, but actually what she had said about finding our own identities is so true because so many times we're hearing this from the news or we're hearing this from this person or this from this person or from ourselves we're doubting or thinking we should be somebody we shouldn't, that we weren't meant to be. But it's like we want to take you to different places, and we actually do have a lot of relaxing time because I believe in having fun and enjoying each other's company, being able to visit, learn new things, and be able to teach and point out things that a lot of times people don't even realize is right there in front of them. It's kind of like when you go to find something. I'm asking my husband, yesterday, I'm like, have you seen the leaf blower? Right? I'm asking, and I'd gone and searched and stuff. He's like, did you look down? And it was right at my feet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was totally blind to it. But how many times have we walked through the woods and didn't see that squirrel, that chipmunk, hear those sounds, or taken the time to listen to the waves or the water trickling? And so those are kind of things that we want to help you discover. And so that you can take them with you, take them home, besides the relationships here that you get to build. And like you said, Lori, everybody is so heart centered. We have such an amazing group. and I love it.
Yes, and then we need to help. We are both like Tammy and I were heart centered too, and we need to learn to slow down, to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. I love that Yuli said that the August retreat is more in alignment with her birthday. So hey, we
Awesome.
love to have you here with us or there over there in Idaho where Tammy is. And we have a great speaker and guest today. Her name is, are we ready for that, Tammy?
Yeah, just 1 second. I just want to say thanks for everyone that's here today and be sure to share and like. And questions, be sure to ask Hannah. Hannah Denny is here again with us. We've had her before, but since we've grown, our group has grown so much, we're going to start almost from the beginning again. Ask her more about her life story again so that you guys can all learn about that. So, and I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce our guest, Lori, because you have met Hannah in person.
I know Hannah. Yes, 2023 back in May in UK, and an amazing event like what Tammy and I are promoting. See, when you go and attend and support this activities and these retreats, you get yourself another treat, which is long-lasting friends. Hanna Denny was there in the UK, and she still lives in the UK. I think she's originally from Poland, and she works with computers. She works in marketing, and she has had an amazing story to share with us. Make sure maybe find her video when she was a guest before, where she shared a lot of her story. And today she's going to share more of her story. So, Hannah, you're welcome to join us in this conversation today and interview. And we love to have you back. Welcome again.
Yes, welcome.
Oh, what an opening and such a privilege to be here again. Oh, as you said, Laurie, we go to retreats, we go to those places and we meet people and we stay friends. But it's not only that. I wanted to say something about the retreat and take this opportunity to say thank you to Laurie from the bottom of my heart, because she was a part of my grief transformation that started happening there. And I'm sure
Mm.
she has her own stories, but just to give you a few insights, I didn't have a lot of expectations. Let's step back. I went there with open heart. I went there and my intention was whatever is there for me and I need to hear, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive. And if I could give you an advice, all of you who are going to this retreat, just be open to receive, because the universe is such a smart such a smart place, will always know what we need, and it will provide us what we are ready to receive. And be gentle with yourself when you're there, because I have no doubt that if you find your way there, you're meant to be there.
Mm. Yes.
So just take it this way. So just digressing, well, not really digressing
Oh,
from
thank you,
story.
Hannah. I love it.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I was gonna say that sometimes we just have this instinct, this intuitive instinct and compulsion even to just say, I want to say yes to this. I want to say yes to this. I don't know why, I don't know how. But then universe, God, the divine opens doors and windows and all kinds of ways for it for it to happen. And the same as me, there's that article in our page in the blog where it says that airplane closed its door, and it was my first time that I traveled by myself with it to such far away distance 10 hours, I was going to say like, wow, it's too late. I cannot run out that door from the airplane. And I need to continue. I made this decision once upon a time, and I am going to go to this specific event and this adventure by myself for the first time ever. And it was so amazing, right, Hannah? I can't, I just love the fact that I made that decision. And that's what people need to do. Make the decision, and God, divine universe will provide
Trust that.
us
Trust.
that. Yeah.
Well,
Trust
so
that.
many times we don't take in effect. Instead we think, oh no, we should pay for this for somebody else, or we should do this instead, you know. But what we don't realize is we have to take that mask off. We have to be the ones that go and get that care, you know, and time away. You know, it's like my daughter does it now with her daughter and stuff. She takes 2 or 3 days off away from the home, but you feel more appreciated when you come back. Plus, you get that alone time so you can just, sometimes you need it just to revamp, you know, and get, when you go to retreat, like you said, Hannah, and you open your heart and you listen and you just take in, you know, and I'm kind of like you. I go places a lot of time with no high expectations, but then it's like even better
Then
because
that
when you're
magic
not
happens.
expecting it, then it's like, and you're open to stuff, it's just like, oh my gosh, I got so full from it, you know, and it's so rewarding and so relaxing. And what you get there at that retreat or where whatever you do say yes to like that, it's a lifetime, you know, it's gonna live with you for a lifetime. And sometimes, like Lori said, it's that instant, hey, I want to do this, you know, and I've done that where I was like driving in Spokane and heard something come on, and I was like, God saying, you need to do this. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I could redo my schedule. And I drove right to a meeting and went in and then booked 3 days in Seattle, you know, just because I trusted my gut, you know, and what I felt that God was telling me at that time. But so it's always interesting, right? When we just let
Right.
go.
So,
Let go. Let
yeah,
go.
let go and let God. So, Hannah, you said that that's when your healing process started for your grieving. And tell us more about that.
Yes, for those who don't know my story, that are here for the first time. Um,
Well, actually, maybe we should. Do you want to start from the beginning of where you grew up from and all of that first, kind of?
oh,
And then
okay,
that way, I think it might be easier to lead into your whole story.
all right. So as you said, originally I'm from Poland, but I've been living in the UK for a long time, over 20 years. And this is where I met my wonderful, beloved husband, Roy. And the time that we had together, if I say that was magical, I think that's understatement.
Yeah.
I found my soulmate. I found someone who I connected with so deeply on so many different levels. And I absolutely love those moments of just silence, sitting on the sofa. Roy would read because he just loved reading, and I would listen something on my audiobooks. And there was a spark. We looked at each other and answered questions that we had in our head without without saying much. I mean, that was absolutely magical. And we had those wonderful 15 years together, and a few last years when Roy was diagnosed with cancer. You know what? We thought, you know, what cancer? What cancer? We are not having that. We are absolutely not having that. So Roy went through operation, and we decided at that point that we'll move to Spain, because that was the country that Roy loved deeply, and we spent many holidays there. And once we moved there, do you know what? Some shift happened, and it felt almost like we left the cancer in the UK. So it's gone. It's just there. We are going to have a beautiful life in a sunny country, just full of, well, sun, blue sky, beautiful water, because we loved water.
I've heard it's really pretty there.
Yes, yes, it is. And the food, it's brilliant. I love the local produce. And just to add to this, Roy was an excellent cook. Oh, so I was I
You were
was
spoiled.
spoiled. I was spoiled, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, because me and kitchen, I love the look of it, you know, and all and all his tools and pans and accessories. Yes, I bought them all because I knew that Roy would enjoy cooking. So we had a wonderful, wonderful time. And as I said, we left the cancer back in the UK. And unfortunately, it caught up with us. And Roy passed away in my arms.
That's intense, Hannah.
And you, Tammy, you mentioned earlier on about finding your identity. And in that moment, that identity was gone. I wasn't sure who I was. Not to mention, what am I going to do now? How am I going to lead my life? Where am I going to be? I mean, millions of questions, and at that stage, not many answers.
Mm.
I spent 6 months in Spain, going from bad to worse, experiencing not only the loss of Roy, the loss of my identity, who I am, but also, sadly, I experiencing a very deep isolation. People who I thought that they're friends, and they were always inviting us both to their homes and partying. I felt that wind of ice coming from. I was no longer welcome in some homes, some friends circle. And I decided I'm going to return home. And for me, the UK was always my home. That's where I felt safer. That's where I felt better. That's where I felt that I have friends who will welcome me with open heart, not look at me as a threat.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
amazing
hurt.
that people.
And it hurt because how could you even contemplate for a second that I could be a threat for your spouse. I've just lost someone.
Well, it showed who your true friends were.
Absolutely. And those friends, they're still my friends.
Mm.
You know,
So,
it's amazing when we go through those hard times, you would think, like you said, and I've known so many different people besides myself, we've all gone through this, something horrible, even if it was COVID or
A
whatever it
loss.
was, or
Hmm.
losses of some type, and or some struggles, whatever it may be, you find who your true friends are, and people that you thought were your true friends, when they're not there for you, you're like, okay, God, thanks for showing me this, but this hurts, you know, because it's like, why? What did I do? Because you did nothing. So it just actually, it's not on you. It shows their true colors, you
I
know.
know, Tammy, but when
But
you
how hard, but it is so, so hard and it's so difficult. And you're always doubting yourself at that time. You're asking yourself questions. It's like, why didn't I see
did I
this?
look at the different in the wrong way, or did I make wrong gesture? And that's what I didn't need.
No.
Absolutely. And coming back to UK was like, oh, there is hope. I'm home. But then I had to face, well, I need to, I need to do something in terms of work. I cannot just have holiday for the rest of my
Hmm.
time. There are bills to pay, and as much as I loved Roy and our time together, I wasn't really provided for my life after his loss. I had to pull myself together, and every time I tried, it was that, oh my God, I've been out of work for so long because I cared for Roy. I suddenly, blank, I don't remember anything. How am I going to behave? How will I respond? I my confidence, what confidence?
Yeah.
This was all gone. I just felt stripped to the bone, and I knew I needed to do something, but I was scared. I was unsure of all my abilities. That I ran successful business before, and I was asking myself, what happened to that woman? Where is she?
Mm.
Where is she? But this is what happened when grief hits you.
Yeah.
There is
And it happens to the strongest women or men out there. Something will happen, and especially grief or depression or something will
Mm,
hit us, and we'll start hearing these negative voices in our minds, saying you're not good enough or whatever. But
mm.
I'm so glad you looked in that mirror and you said, where is she? Where is she?
Where
So
is she?
Hannah, I wanna
Mhm.
I wanna share a little bit of what our audience is saying. I love the fact that there's so many tuned in and drawn to this story. Trish said, "Oh, sweet Hannah, what a beautiful love story. So sorry for the loss of your soulmate, Roy." Yuli
Thank you.
said, "Sending so much love and support to you. I envision you finding peace in your grief. Your strength and perseverance is empowering and inspiring and amazing." And I just want to say the same. I want to say that you've been such a great example in this process. And I know how I met you that day, the first day of that gathering. And I know the different Hannah that was there evolving on the last day that we said goodbye to each other. It was beautiful to see. But keep going, sorry.
And no, 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 absolutely, absolutely. The transformation there was the beginning. I can say
Because
now,
you
I
took
can
that first
say
step to say yes to that retreat. So
yes, yes to that.
bravo.
And Laurie, what did you call me? You gave me a name. Hannah
Hannah
on
Unleashed. Hannah Unleashed.
Hannah Unleashed. Yes, yes. And that gave me that push. It's almost like I was given a permission. Hannah, step in because this is your life. The grief cracked me open. I could see to the core of my soul.
Yeah.
But I knew, and forgive me, I do get emotional. I still do, even after all these almost 3.5 years. But you see, the grief doesn't go away. As people say, time will heal. Maybe I would say it depends on the relationship that you had with that person. But what happened to me, I started looking at grief as a gift that I was given. For me, I call it the gift from grief. And that's the community that I'm building. Because I understood at that point that since I'm here, living, breathing, my purpose is still here. I just need to find it. So I just went on and on and on. And I was trying different things, different events, different courses, meeting people, learning and learning. And I think I definitely went into exploring who I am. And more importantly, what is that purpose that comes from my heart, from my soul, that I want to give.
Yes.
I have so much to give.
So this quote that I shared yesterday probably hit home. Your identity is your gift to the world. No one else can give the gift you can in the truth of who you are.
So
It
beautiful
was
and
such a,
so
it was kind of because I had bought this book a few weeks ago. And so when I opened up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of what we're going to be talking about, So it's always in God's timing, right? Everything. And
And
I totally understand, sometimes people are like, how can you say that grief was your gift? But at the same time, when I found out that I had my tumors and stuff, it was a gift because made me see things that I never would have noticed before. You think you would, but you really don't until you experience it. And it's a deeper meanings or connections than we realize. And if we can share that so that others don't have to go through, you know, that's what I'm hoping, or to help people that are going through things, like you said, through grief, so that you can help others walk through those hard times.
absolutely. I've walked the walk. And it's not that, oh, I'm done with grief. grief grief is with me, but I I took a different approach. It's part of me. It's part of my growing. It's it's part of the journey that helped me reconnect with my little Hannah. It helped me to realize that I can, as you said, Tammy, I can use my journey, I can use the knowledge that I have gathered through those years and show others that there is hope, there is light. And even if we are cracked open, raw, sore, painful, we can just gently close that opening and take the path that our soul leads us to it. And I'm so what I'm going to say could be looked at a little bit controversial, but I'm just thinking that the timing of Roy's passing was just so perfect. He timed it so well because I was strong enough to not let the grief pull me down. And Roy was so smart. He understood this. And he always said, even the last minute, darling, I so believe in you. You can do it and you'll be all right. And I am all right. And there are days that today I was dancing earlier on. I just put the music on because I felt so alive and I felt so happy that finally I have my vision so clear. So I'm not just going, oh, what shall I do? Maybe this, maybe that, maybe something else, because that I understand it was a process. But now, when the clarity is there, I just love putting the music on and just dance and say, thank you for giving me that clarity. So now I can go forward and I can bring with me those who are still searching.
That is beautiful, Hannah. I want to share what Trish said. We learn to honor our grief as a tribute to great deep love. And whether, like Tammy said about the tumor diagnosis, love for life, love for herself, like you said, love for Roy and your relationship. I know here in this group, people have lost daughters, brothers, sons. People have lost their grandparents that by nature, you know, that's going to happen eventually, regardless. It's love, deep connections. I lost my grandma and she helped raise me. And she was what I call my first life coach. And one thing also is that these amazing people that we are grieving and we miss, I think, Hannah, tell me a little bit about what they would like for us, like how they would like for us to continue living life. Was that a motivator? Was that a motivator for you? Like Roy would like me to fill in the blank.
Gosh, I had times that I just, I would sit and cry, and then Max, it's my dog, and he was, he's been with us since little puppy, and him and Roy had such a special connection. So he would, in those moments, he just feels when I go down, and he would come, just put his head on my lap, and for me, it would be that missing link between me, Roy, and him. We were three musketeers, and I could hear that voice, my darling, because Roy, we hardly ever called each other by names. We had our little nicknames or darlings. I love the word darling. Oh my goodness, it has such a deeper meaning for me. And he would say, darling, follow your heart. You go there because your life, it's still there. So find the way, find the path, find what brings you joy, and follow this. And our path might cross again. But follow your dreams and dream big. Don't be afraid to dream big. Bigger than better. And I would start with crying and then I would end up laughing and saying, yes, I know. I know what you want from me. And then this would move into anger. So I do understand when people might say, Hannah, but it's not always that easy, because grief, it's not linear. It goes in spirals, ups and downs, and we think we feel good, and then something triggered us. Do you know what? I 3.5 years later, and I just a couple of days, I had the realization that I would love to share. I kept going to buy fish and chips, and I was thinking, I want to look after my health, because health through the grieving process is so important, to look at your body from the point of what you are putting in there. And then I realize that it's not only fish and chips, but that was a meal that Roy introduced to me. I didn't know that dish. And that was a meal that, if I didn't want him to cook, just to have a break from cooking, and we didn't feel like going out, that would be our takeaway. And I connected those memories and realized that, yes, I'm not just eating fish and chips, but I'm bringing those memories. Oh.
Yep. So I wanted to read what Trish had written, because I think this is very important too. We grieve not only the loss of people, but also the ending of relationships, and both require us to sit with it, feel it, but not let us consume us. And I think actually, when we lose relationships, can be almost more devastating.
Harder, I would say.
Harder,
It's harder.
which is really sad. And I had a psychiatrist that was next to me when I was getting my hair done, say that also. She said that people have a harder time with that than losing a loved one, because those relationships, when you think you have, like you said, those relationships, you thought they were friends, after that happened, that was almost more devastating in a way. I mean, they each have each thing was devastating, but that was
A
like,
different marriage.
yeah, it was horrible.
Uh, I do agree, and I've been thinking about that lately, because some of my friends been going through a divorce, and I think the pain of being rejected, the pain of, or the anger. How did it happen? Why didn't I see this sign? Was I blind? What is it? I think it's,
It's
and the
those
fact
red
that
flags.
I might see that person again, but there will be distance, and there might be unpleasant feelings or hatred, all different kind of feelings. It's hard to deal with, and I know that in this lifetime I can only see Roy in my heart, through my memories, through pictures. I will not experience that touch. And in the broken relationship or marriage, if you loved someone so deep that even a touch just created this magical moment, and now you think, I will never experience that again, I think it's really, really hard, because I have my memories that I will cherish for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I have Adele here. She said, Adele one. Thank you so much for this comment, Adele. Hannah, to support that thought that you just shared, grief is a gift, but is also very, very hard. And Eva says, this is my view as well. Anything happens, even if it looks bad, sad, it's all happening for us. God knows what we need to develop and serve his purpose. And Sandra Crook shares a very hopeful, very sweet thought. She says, the ones we lose are never far from our side, and they are our biggest cheerleaders.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you
then,
so much for
yeah.
the comments. So
And
beautiful, touching.
Yeah. Eva says that when she was grieving for her dad, he did not go to make me sad, and he would never want to see me sad and crying because of him. This thought always helped and helps me. I mean, oh my goodness, so many beautiful messages. Like, thanks for you watching. Ask Hannah any question. Tell us, how is it that you deal with grief? What gives you hope? I love the fact that many people here have shared that people that we have lost didn't do it on purpose. It's just God's will, and that we need to honor them, living our lives the best that we can. At the same time, I also understand that we need to take time and honor ourselves with feeling what we feel and letting those emotions flow. So,
And
Hannah,
I
I
have
understand you've used nature though.
I was just
Or
going to
really?
say,
So we're
oh my
thinking on the same
Tammy,
page
Tammy,
here.
are you in my head?
Yeah,
What
I
was
am.
happening today? Synchronicities. Oh my, I love this. I love this. I was just going to say that a gigantic part of my healing, it has been nature. That it's nothing better to calm me down, to ground me. Just take my dog, go for a walk. But I would go to the park, I would go to the field that we're surrounded by, I call it home. Because when I'm in nature, this is my home. I feel understood. I feel that I can just say anything, and often I will just walk and talk and ask questions and just say, please, I'm asking for guidance and I open to receive it. Just give me a sign, and it will be, oh my goodness, this answer, it's already here. So if you are in the UK, in Hertfordshire, and you see a woman running without shoes, barefooted around the park, hugging trees, or sitting in the middle of the field meditating, that would be me. And you know what? I don't have any problem with people watching. At first, I thought, oh, this feels a little bit uneasy. But then I decided to listen my inner guidance. I just said, whatever people think about me, it's their thinking and has nothing to do with me. So I will take care of my body, my mind, my soul, the best way that I can, and just spending time in nature. It's been I never thought. I always loved being in parks or, climbing trees. That was my favorite activities when I was a teenager. And I was winning every single competition. Who can climb the highest? I'm not climbing trees anymore.
Hey, I used to climb trees as well. So.
I hug them.
But
that's where I feel that deep connection, and it's free and it's everywhere. And if you don't have fields, even going to little parks, little squares, or even in your garden, these are all beautiful bushes, trees, and you will have animals coming, birds singing. Sometimes when I record my reels or something that I share with my viewers, they said, "Oh, Hanna, are the birds singing in the background? Where are you?" I said, "Well, yes, absolutely. They're talking to me, especially very early in the morning or when they going to bed, preparing to go to bed. They have plenty of stories to share." So we communicate through.
Hanna, I remember you climbed a tree in the UK with me. So if I
Yes.
find that
so
evidence,
3 years
I'll
ago, you
share
guys
it.
were climbing trees. Okay.
I'll share it. Evidence. It was fun.
But you're right, Hannah. I talk to all the little animals, the birds, everything out here. Our place, we call it kind of like a wildlife refuge center because every day I either see deer, chipmunks, squirrels, bumblebees, turkeys, eagles,
Wow.
whatever, owls. The other day, I saw an owl and I was like, okay, no eating the chipmunk that's running there. You go find something else. This is a safe place.
Yeah.
And
So
you know what I did? I did something absolutely crazy, but I loved it, and it made me feel so good and clean, pure. I went on the high street just doing some errands, and didn't think that there would be raining. And I tell you, the heaven just open, and the lady in the shop was bringing me in and said, Hannah, no, just wait, do not go, because I parked the car maybe 10 minutes away from the shop. And I thought, and I said, oh, just take the umbrella and bring it back. And I thought, do you know what? No, I want to experience that water. And it felt so refreshing, so clean. By the time I got to the car, I tell you what, my pants were wet. Everything was absolutely wet. And the water in the shoes was making that noise. But I felt so good. So good. Again,
I
going
totally
back
get it.
to nature and how it can heal us, help us to find our way to ourselves.
yeah, I have a question here. It's been so good to have you back, Hanna. Again, this is not her first time as a guest. This is her second time. Maybe I can tag that first time she came so you can see the other
And we
aspects.
I do have that. It's on our one page because Hannah is our champion of freedom for the month.
That's right.
A warrior. So she has a page, and we have the link from her to her first one there. So.
And Eva asks that she asked Hanna, so did you find your life purpose and what do you do now? And maybe that's how we can wrap it up, and for you to say and share your the closing remarks. What is it that you do, and what is it that you would encourage people to continue living life with grieving?
So, I do many things. I will just concentrate to a few that are relevant here. So I do help widows who decide to be open and be taken on that journey for reclaiming their inner selves, for finding joy, finding the purpose in life, and live again, because we all deserve to have happy, joyful life. So if you would like to join me on Facebook group, I have public and I have private group that the deep healing happens. So this is where it's a safe space. I call it sanctuary. Widows can come and share their stories, or if they are not ready to share, just their presence is enough, because we are sisterhood and we help each other to move through that pain and find a soulful purpose. And also from the digital agency part, what I do, I help coaches who deal with grief to be visible on social media, because when I was looking for someone, I was scrolling and scrolling, and I couldn't find that soul who could help me. I found it outside of the social media. So the work that they do is it's a remarkable work. But if people don't know about those coaches, they are there, they need help, but the coaches need to be seen. And if it's okay with you, I have a little closing, a little poem, a little message for the audience, if that's okay. I will read. I didn't have time to memorize it, so forgive me for that.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Hey, I
perfect.
can't memorize hardly anything, so go for it.
Grief cracked me open, not to break me, but to let the light in. I'm not who I was, but I'm whole. And if you are standing in the dark, hold on. Your light is still there. Healing is not forgetting, it's remembering who you are and choosing to live with the heart that it's full of love. I would like to finish with that
Well, thank
short
you.
poem.
It was an honor to have you here, Hannah. And be sure, Hannah, later on to put your Facebook site. I think I put it on there, but make sure that your group Facebook site in the comments so that people, if they would like to join, can join you.
Absolutely. And anyone who would like to talk to me, just connect, please. I'll be honored. I'll be honored to be of help.
What we also would like to encourage you to do. I'm sorry?
And again, thank you. It's such a privilege to be here. You will always have a special place in my heart for allowing me to share my story and bring hope.
Yeah, of course, Hannah. I would like it if you can also in the group check all the beautiful comments in the conversation thread of this video later on when you get a minute. And Hannah, I think it will be so great to also mention the retreat organizers, our dear friend Natalia Nutting, Bailey, and how much she contributed for the Hannah Unleash version of yourself, our dear Bailey. our Eric that was in that retreat, our friend Bill. I think he needs to come in here, right, and share about his
Absolutely. Where is
adventures.
he?
I
Where
know, I
is
know.
he? Where is
So,
he?
and then Patricia, I mean, all these people that we're always going to hold dear, near and dear in our heart because of this event that we partook of together. So, Tammy and I are creating events and creating experiences that are similar, just getting together to get out of the hustle and bustle, out of the noise of the world, so that we can focus and be self-centered because we are already heart-centered people. And remember, self-centered, it's not the same as selfish, is like to focus on ourselves so that we reset, reignite, re-energize so that we can continue giving and serving to others. So thank you so much for being here, Hannah. And Tammy, if you want to say your closing remarks, encouraging people to like and share as you always do.
So, and I also want to encourage people that we do have trips scheduled for Barbados and St. Lucia, and we will schedule more if we get interest. If you're interested in a certain destination, let us know. Those retreats are like at the Sandals Resorts, all inclusive. So they cover everything. So you don't have to worry about anything. Because sometimes you want to just go get spoiled. And other times you want to like, okay, let's go on nature hikes or let's do this. They both are so great to go to. I mean, personally, I want to do both of them. I like it. I was talking to somebody the other day, one of our followers, and I was like, sometimes I'm the city girl and other days I'm the country girl. So you just never know. It's like wherever I am, I fit in perfectly because I enjoy both. Because if you look at life, life is short. And so
Mhm.
you've got to take it in while you can and enjoy those experiences and enjoy those family. And it was like I was trying to tell this to my granddaughters the other day. It's like life is short. If you only spend one day with somebody or 2 days a year, that's really not that much. So make sure you spend time with those that you love. Make that extra effort because you just never know if there is a tomorrow. And so, but on that note, I want to say thank you to each and everybody that's here. Thank you for always liking, sharing. We love it when you invite friends. I love seeing those posts. Thanks, Yuli, for sharing your photos. I love seeing that and the encouragement in the group. I love it when you guys encourage each other. And it was such an honor to have you, Hannah. Love it. And of course, I love my friend, Lori, my partner. So thanks everyone for being here. Go enjoy nature, and we'll be back next week with another amazing guest.
Bye-bye.
So, bye.